Do you know what? One of the most confusing concepts that people get misunderstood, I think, in the world of business is marketing. The problem is, you see, that marketing sometimes can be lots of different things. And I've heard it defined as it's everything that an organization does. It's how they create products. It's how they sell products. It's how they show up. It's how the employees act. And in many cases, they're not wrong, because one of the best definitions of marketing is the whole experience that a prospect has with your business, the organization, everything that you create. But in my opinion, there is only two types of marketing that anybody has to understand. And if you can get your head around those two types of marketing, then you're well on the way there of being able to build a coherent and successful marketing strategy. So the first concept of marketing that you need to know is brand. Now, there are different definitions of brand. One of the best definitions I've ever heard is it's a promise of consistency. But what I try and get across to people now is it's the unique and memorable way that you tell the world about what you do. So it's the what, it's the why, crucially the why, and it's the how. And the things that make a brand successful are consistency, something that is instantly recognizable, something that is desirable, so therefore it has aspiration, and something that is repetitive and therefore consistent. And there's a really good book by a guy called Seth Godin called Purple Cow. And what he means really is that if you're driving along the road, you'll see lots of brown cows, particularly in the countryside in the UK. But if you see a purple cow, it's so remarkable, it stands out so much that you literally have to stop your car and look at it. And in terms of brand, that's what you're trying to create. So what I often say to people with branding is don't be boring. Okay, remember that, be the purple cow. So what are some examples of branding? Well, you've got advertising without an offer. Okay, so just building awareness. You've got design, so that can be the logo, the color, the look and feel of kind of what you're trying to get across. It can be a podcast, it can be a YouTube channel, it can be slogans, jingles, it can be a website, it can be the number of likes, followers, shares that you have on your social media. It can be the process of building leads and link building, but it's not selling. It's really, for me, I look at building brands as creating awareness, building interest, building desire, and building engagement. And the more successful you can be at that, the more likely you are to be able to move to the next part of marketing, which is basically conversion. So if you think about brand as being the first piece you need to understand, the second piece of marketing you need to understand is what we call direct response. Now, direct response, the definition is converting people interested in your brand, products and services that you create and that you sell, into prospects, customers, and eventually, if you can really get all this working together, raving fans. So some examples of direct response are advertising with an offer. It can be SEO activity, advertising, so pay-per-click advertising. It can be funnels, sales pages. It can be lead magnets with calls to actions. It can be promotions and campaigns, anything that's driving towards a sale. Now, the reason I say that they are the two concepts that you need to understand is if you think about it, if you think about the journey that you want your ideal customer to go on, you need to be doing stuff at the very beginning because they may not even know you exist. So they're often strangers. So doing stuff that is around your brand, it's about being creative, it's about, as I said, being interesting and making an impact. That sort of activity is going to get people to just know that you exist. Now, if you can bring into that the fact that you understand their world by creating insights and those sort of things, and you can understand therefore their problem, and therefore you have the solution to solve their problem, you are well on the way of starting to build a really, really strong business just by understanding those simple concepts. When you move into direct response, however, though, it's a single-minded action. So once you've got people aware, they're interested, they understand that you can solve their problem, you want to take them from a point of that position to buying your product or service as quickly as possible. That's why I often say these days that a website is great, but a website has lots of information on it. If you have a sales page, which has a very clear focus, it's a linear process for someone to come in and you want them to take action. That could be, if you're an online retail business, could be them buying your actual product. If you are a services business or something more B2B, it might be about just getting someone to book an appointment. But either way, when you think about brand and direct response working together, the power of those two things with a really, really clear strategy is where you start to get to predictable performance. And one of the things I like to say is, if you want to create a valuable business, one that's generating revenue, generating cash, is valuable, that other people may want to buy it someday, you are going to have a predictable flow of the right customers coming into that business, driving recurring revenue. And that's what we should all be striving for in our scale-up journey. So I hope that's useful. Just a very, very quick video to explain those two concepts, to demystify marketing. As I said, you only have to remember brand and direct response. Bye for now.